Welcome to a special broadcast from the Athens Banner Herald. I'm Ryan Dennis, sports editor of OnlineAthens.com and the Athens Banner Herald. Today we are taking a look into high school athletes and the rigors they face while competing both on and off of their respective courts and fields. Here are interviews with Sophia Waters, co-founder of Oconee Physical Therapy, and Daly Connolly, Athens Academy's Learning Resource Coordinator, as they explain the balance between sports, school, and general wellness for high school athletes. Thanks for listening. We are first joined by Sophia Waters, co-founder of Oconee Physical Therapy in Oconee County. She explains Charcot-Marie-Tooth, a rare nerve disorder that affected former North Oconee High School football player Hunter Payne. She also gives insight to the physical therapy world and the challenges they face while getting athletes back to 100%.
If you could just explain what that is that he had, though, kind of give me some perspective on what Charcot-Marie-Tooth is and how he dealt with it.
Well, and the part is it is difficult to diagnose because it doesn't just pop up. And I remember Kurt sitting there really struggling and getting a lot of people to come back and looking at it. He called multiple people to try to figure out exactly kind of what is happening with that. Okay. It's kind of, and I'm sure you've looked it up a little bit, it's kind of, a nerve response kind of situation, and I was going to go back and actually pull some more information for you because it's not something we see a lot. Right. I can remember him sitting there talking to one of the physicians he talked to, and you've probably gone through and pulled it up, but looking at the different kind of neurological disorders that can happen, it's just not common. And I can remember him sitting here and having one particular doctor in town who looked at it and he goes, "It's that." And he just knew by pulling it all together. So, and it is a hard thing to kind of figure out and see, but it is just kind of that pattern. And we struggled too. We just knew something wasn't right. We didn't have the right answer yet. And he called around to anyone he could to try to figure it out, because sometimes someone's not progressing the way we want them to in therapy, and we know we just don't have all the answers yet. And I vividly remember him sitting there at the desk and talking to someone. He's like, "It's that." And this is just an amazing doctor. It's probably not appropriate for me to tell you which one, but just an amazing doctor. He was like, "It's that." And then they started going down that route to really looking at that and figuring out, looking at the nerves, looking at the muscles, and figuring out the exact combination of symptoms, because it can have an interesting combination of symptoms. And it's not something we see all the time. So it's kind of one of those side things that you look at. If I recall correctly with Hunter, and it's been a while, I think he was having positional changes in his toes and his feet, and then some in his hands. I'd have to pull the chart to know exactly which one since Kurt treated him. Right. But, he was seeing some of those different changes. It didn't fit with everything else. And so, but yeah, that was interesting. I had forgotten about that. And I remember now watching Kurt going, "Oh," and he's looking it up, and they're like, and so it's part of just what medicine is. It's a puzzle, and we're figuring it out. And some things are everyday kind of puzzles, and some things are very different ones, and then helping that person figure out how, get the diagnosis and help directing to make sure they get to the right person.
Right. So,
but I'm probably not answering your question, but I can remember, now I'm remembering that conversation with Kurt. We love it when we can get that puzzle piece and put it together, because then you really can help that patient, and they know what they're tackling and what to do about it.
And what can you do about it? I mean, I know that from talking to him, he's got to continually strengthen his, keep his muscles strong so I guess there's not more nerve damage or whatever. But, I mean, what does he have to go through exactly?
He needs to really focus on his flexibility and his strength. And where some people are able to float through life and not really, he's going to have to be smart about that. He will have to be on top of it the way we all should be. He has to be.
I got you.
We all should be eating properly. Some people have to. Yeah. It's kind of like, if you think about all of the Crohn's disease or things like that, or we all should be eating properly.
This time of year is hard,
right? And a have to sort of thing. And he really is going to always have to be careful about his activity level, his flexibility, his strength. But once he knows what he's dealing with, now he can attack it better. But that was a hard part of figuring out what it was.
And what can happen if he doesn't? I mean, does it explain how the nerves work with the muscle and whatnot? Will it just deteriorate to where his muscle wouldn't work properly?
It can. I mean, as the muscles, as the nerve fibers deteriorate or degenerate, it'll lead to some, they won't be sending many signals to the muscles, so they'll get some muscle weakness, they'll get the atrophy from that, which could lead to, different tightnesses because he's not able to move as much as normal, so he has to really watch flexibility.
Right.
And then he's watching for other things. The nerves also carry signals as far as hot and cold and everything. So he's got to be smart about what he's watching for, what he's feeling, and really keeping an eye on his body.
You said it was rare. I mean, is he one of the only cases you've ever seen with that?
I have had, I think in our 15 years here at Oconee, we've probably had 2 people.
Oh, wow. So it is very
So if they're everywhere, they're not making it to us. They're making it over to Shepherd or somewhere else. But it is not a very common, or one that we see as much here.
Well, in that condition, I mean, how, not surprising, but, how good is it that he was able to play football, with a disease like that?
Oh, yeah. It's great. It is great.
Is that worrisome, that any little thing could go wrong and he could really be seriously hurt?
I'm not sure if I have as much of the answer for that as far as long-term for this disease, because it's more degeneration. It's almost like you maintain your strength, you maintain your flexibility, and you do what your body will, just like, is it worrisome for someone with a degenerative disc disease to drive a truck? Yeah. Does that make sense? And it is a hard decision. I mean, guys, like parents, we make hard decisions, but I think you try to balance what they can do and how they're, what they can do, what their heart wants to do. I would have to research more to see if there's anything specific to tell them not to. Yeah. I don't know anything specific to tell them not to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not trying to avoid it. I'm just saying I haven't seen something that says don't let them do anything. I've seen things that say have them keep moving and have them do, flexibility, strength, and all of that good stuff. So.
Right, and of course y'all deal with a lot of injuries, I'm sure. And how much do you have to balance, letting the kid that has suffered a major injury, telling them that it is the right time for them to go back and participate in athletics, when they've gone through something serious. Is that a hard decision to make, to approve activity?
Well, I mean, it's a challenge, but we've got so many tests that we will run somebody through that I wish there was a globe that would give us everything and tell us everything exactly how it's going to be, but we do our best to have the flexibility and strength and the functional level back as close as we can get. Hopefully, my goal is that they are in better shape when they go back to the coach than they were when we got them. That we have worked so hard. For example, after an ACL reconstruction, you really have to work on your knee control, their total body awareness and knee control, because oftentimes the reason they tore their ACL has to do with poor control in their knee. Yeah. Sometimes somebody hits them, but sometimes, so many times you see the kid, they cut and it moves wrong, or they land and it moves wrong, and no one touched them. So oftentimes there's some dynamics there, and they've done a lot of work at the schools to really work on strengthening. But we have a lot of tests, single hop tests. We're looking at how they move.
All right, here with Athens Academy's Daly Connolly, the Learning Resources Coordinator. Daly, can you explain a little bit about what your job is and how you, can help students and all?
Well, I am the Learning Resource Coordinator, as you said, for the whole school, so pre-K 3 through 12. So that is a couple of different things combined. One is that I track all students that may have a diagnosed disability and how they may or may not need accommodations. If a student is diagnosed with a a disability that may require additional support, such as remediation. I oversee that. The third thing I do is oversee the on-campus tutoring for any student that may require additional assistance. And the last thing that I acquired this year was a academic coach in the upper school.
Well, great. Well, one of the students that we talked to is Greer Mosley, who is very open about her dyslexia and talked to us, in great length about, what she's overcome. How long have you worked with Greer, and what, have you seen from her over the years in improving or overcoming that issue?
Well, I've worked with Greer since I started here 3.5 years ago. She was here prior to me starting. She has just been phenomenal. She has been nothing but that stellar student of being able to put in the extra hours that needs to get the work done. So I have had the pleasure of working with Greer after she's gone through the remediation process in middle school.
And you've seen, I guess, in that 3.5 years, is it an issue where she's, you can definitely tell the improvement that she's made in those 3 years?
Oh, absolutely. But a lot of it, she's taken the skills that have been taught to her and she's applying them. Okay. So she has been the one that's been willing and able to put that extra effort in. With the support that she's had here, it doesn't take away the diagnosis or take away the dyslexia, but it gives you the ability to use strategies to compensate for it. So she's the one that's working incredibly hard, but doing really, really well.
Right, and part of the story that we are putting out is how she's, excelling at athletics as well. And I know when I talked to her about that, she has to almost do triple work what other people do to get her studies right and to be so good at athletics. Do you see that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Athletes, I think, sometimes people forget how much time they have to spend on the field and practicing and so forth. And then to be able to keep up with our academic rigor. The expectations are the same for a student athlete as well for a student with a diagnosis, and she's been able to rise to that challenge in both areas.
And, dyslexia, I can see that being, maybe an embarrassing thing for students, but she's very open about it. Why do you think that she kind of wants to let get that out there and maybe help other kids as well?
I think she realizes that it gives her the ability to think through things differently, and also that she knows that she can pretty much meet any challenge that's been put in front of her. She's never been one to quit in anything. So I think she, as some students do, they realize it's kind of just part of who they are. So she's embraced that and has used it towards her strength in a positive way.
And I know she says she's dealt with that from the first grade. Is that something, do kids notice it? Is it something that teachers notice and will tell parents? How is that kind of diagnosed at such an early age that this, student might have a disability?
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways that our school works with students. Some of it is where the teachers bring forth some concrete information or patterns that they're seeing or struggles in reading, for example. Sometimes a family or a parent may contact me saying they just have concerns and they want to seek additional information. So it's sometimes school-driven, sometimes it's parent-driven, just wanting to have a better understanding of how their son or daughter learns.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I've got, Daly. We do appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and thanks again.
You're welcome.
All right.